guys, welcome to day 2 of the 7-day book writing challenge. Today I'm going to teach you the fastest book writing system on the planet. The key to writing your book very, very quickly is to have, drumroll please, a book outline. So today I'm going to talk to you about 2 different types of book outlines that you can use to get your book done really, really quickly. The first outline we're going to go over is for those of you who want to write a book in, let's say, personal development, or you have a business and you want to show yourself as an expert in your field. These are all amazing books. These are the types of books that I write on a consistent basis. So we're going to do that book outline first because it's very, very easy. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper out. It doesn't have to be a big board like this. It could be a regular sheet of paper. And you're going to make a circle. And in that circle, you are going to write the topic for your book. So some of you might be writing books on, let's say, fitness or hair or how to run a business the right way, right? So let's do that. I'm just going to choose something. Let's just say I'm going to write a book on starting your first business. Okay, so here is my subject. I put the subject in the middle because it helps me to remember as I'm filling in everything else, again, at the end of the day, what it is that I'm trying to do with this book. So now we're going to start with step 2 of your book outline. I want you to draw 10 spokes going around the circle. Five. Woo! All right. So now we have 10 spokes going around the circle. You may say, well, what's that for? Why would we do that? These are going to be the 10 most important things that you need your reader to know about what's happening here in the middle of the circle. Now you can do more than 10. You don't have to do 10. I like using 10 because it's a nice round number. Okay, and so I always tell people try 10 first. So when you put it all together, these are going to be your chapters. So I'm just going to make a note here. So let's break that down a little bit. So if I wanted to help someone start a business, the first thing that I might talk to them about is their target market. Ooh, I can't spell today. Right? They're going to need to know how to get their products in front of customers. Another thing that they might want to think about is their marketing plan. Another thing they might want to know or learn about is how to develop a really great business name that attracts customers, and then also how to get a domain, all that kind of stuff. So we'll say business name right now for that part. And you guys kind of see where I'm going. Right? So I'm basically saying if I want to help someone to start a business, what are the 10 most important things that they need to know? And I fill those in first. So now I have my chapter titles. You can always create different names for those chapters, but just do this for the time being because it makes it so easy. Now, the third step, and you can do all of this in one day. It literally takes like 20 minutes, okay? The third step is to put 3 lines on each of the larger lines. So we go here. Just do this here so that you can see it. And these are going to be the subheadings in our chapters, okay? So I'm just going to put subheadings here. Okay, so let's talk about how we break that down. So if I wanted to talk to somebody about, let's go back to the business name, right? So that was a business name. And I wanted them to know, okay, how do we go about making a business name? The first thing that I would do is tell them to do a trademark search to see if there's any other businesses out there with that name, right? So we'll do trademark search. Right? The next thing I might tell them do is to go on GoDaddy.com and see if that domain name has already been taken. And then you can also check with your state. They actually have a directory of all the businesses in your state to see who else has that business name. So we'll just put state directory. And in each of these sections, I'm going to write everything I know that's going to help you to find your trademark search. I'm going to write everything that I know about how do you find a domain name. And here's the key, guys. This is how you write your book very quickly. If you focus on one of these every single day, and when I say one of these, I mean one of these every single day, you don't get overwhelmed. So day 1, you may focus on here. Day 2, you'll focus here. Day 3, you focus here, and you just write everything that you know about that subject, everything that you know that's going to help your customer, everything that you know that's going to help your reader, and that's going to help you to move it right along. World's fastest book writing system. This is how I was able to complete my book in 6 weeks, and you can do the same thing. Now, the next book outline is for those of you who want to write fictional stories. You want to write stories about characters. You want to take readers into your own little world, right? Well, there's a wonderful book outline for you as well. This is what I want you to do. I want you to draw this same structure on a sheet of paper. Now, in a moment, I'm going to tell you how I can make this really easy for you, but first we'll go through this. The first thing that you always want to think about when you're writing fictional characters, you want to think about who are your main characters on the story. Who's going to be that main person that the story is going to follow, and then who are going to be the supporting characters that help them along the way. So what you can start off by doing is writing each one of those characters in that first box, and then maybe write a little description about them, just who they are, what their personality is like, what kind of things do they like to do, because once you start getting into the book writing process, those things will come to mind because you want each of those characters to really have their own personalities. The second thing you want to think about is what's the big crisis or challenge your main character is going to go through. That's what every great story is, right? Every single great story. So you want to think about what's that crisis, what's that challenge. The next thing you want to think about is what's the internal dilemma that the main character or characters have when it comes to that crisis or challenge. We all have an internal thought process. We all have things within us. It might be something morally that challenges the character. It might be fear of, I don't know if I can actually do what it is that I'm supposed to do in this crisis or challenge. So what's the internal dilemma? Because when you start getting to the internal dilemma, again, you start getting more into the thoughts and processes of those characters, and that's what makes them great. Next, you want to think about what's the external dilemma. So because of their morals or because of the way they feel inside about this crisis or challenge, what's now the external dilemma that is being put on those main characters, okay? And just start writing out what some of those can be so that when you start putting the story together, you have things to pull from. The next box is the journey. So every character is going to go through a journey. Every great American story is all about a fantastic journey. So what's the journey that your main character has to go through by the end of the book? And just list them out, just bullet point them out so that you have that as a guide. The next thing is, as they're going through the journey, they're going to obviously have some struggles. So what are the struggle points? As they go through that journey, what are the crisis points? What are the things that they're going to have to overcome in order to get to the end of the story? The next box is, what is the ultimate courageous moment? What's that ultimate courageous moment that the character has to face, where they have to face themselves, where they, even though they're incredibly afraid, they've got to overcome that fear so that they can save the day. What's that courageous moment? And even if it's a love story, there's always a courageous moment in there. It could be telling that person who's the object of their affection that they're in love with them. That's a courageous moment, right? And then at the end, always there's a victory. There's something that happens that pulls it all together that says, we've come to the end, we've come to a great conclusion, and this was an amazing story. The character made it through the crisis that we talked about at the beginning. So there are lots of different ways that you can look at this, and I really want you to just think about how you can use this in your story. So I gave you 2 amazing book outlines that you can use to start creating your book very, very fast. As you go throughout the days, what I want you to do is focus every day on filling in just a little bit. If you focus on filling in each one of these boxes and then start creating your story based off of that journey and the internal dilemmas that the characters have and the external dilemmas, and then what are the struggles they're going to go through. If you just follow that, you will see that your story is going to come together very, very quickly. So some of you might be thinking, okay, wow, I got this information and now I'm going to do this. But listen, I want to make it a little bit even easier for you if possible. I created the Ultimate Author's Resource Guide. This is an ebook that tells you everything that you need to know when it comes to self-publishing your own book and creating great stories. So this same outline is in that book, except it goes a little bit deeper and it actually helps you to fill in each of these. Whether it's this outline or it's the business book outline or the self-development book outline, any of those, that Ultimate Author's Resource Guide is going to have everything you need. It's also going to have links to editors. It's going to have links to publishers. It's going to have links to people who can make covers for you. Everything that you need to know as far as getting your book done, I wanted to offer that to you. Normally this ebook is about $27. However, for all of you who are taking the 7-day book writing challenge, I'm offering it to you for only $7. And you can see the link within the email that was sent to you today. So make sure, guys, if you want that book, go ahead and grab it while you have that chance. That price is only going to be there for a limited time. And this is it's going to teach you everything that you need to know about filling in that book line. All right, good luck on filling in those book outlines, and I will see you tomorrow.